What is solids? It is a specification for developing web applications with Java programming language. What is web application? Distributed application which runs on browser and server. What is distributed application? Installed on one computer and runs on many computers. That is called distributed. Browser. Browser is a software which executes web pages that can have text, image, graphics, animation, everything, audio, video, everything. Now, next servers. Noted? Next servers. Noted? A server is a software that executes. A server is a software that receives request from the client, comma, process the request, comma, constructs a response, a server is a software that receives request from the client, processes the request, constructs a response, and sends a response back to a client. And sends a response back to a client. So any software that is receiving request, processing request, constructing response, and sending response back, that software is called server. A server is a software that receives requests from the client, processes the request, constructs the response, and sends the response back to a client. Say, any software receiving request, processing request, constructing response, sending response back, that is called server. Next, there are two types of servers. First one, web servers. Second one, application servers. There are two types of servers. First one, web servers. Second one, application servers. See, any software that is receiving request, processing request, constructing response, and sending response back, that is called server. That server only, two types of servers are there. Web servers, application server. What's the difference? We'll see. First one, web servers. A web server is a server which contains only web container. A web server is a server which contains only web container. Here, web container contains web components. Here, web container contains web components. There are two types of servers. First one, web servers. Second one, application servers. Web server is a server which contains only web container. Here, web container contains web components, nothing but our programs. Say, Suppose it's a web server. Here I given a web server is a server which contains only web container. In this, one more software. That software is called web container. Web container. Web container contains web components. Web container contains web components. Here, suppose Solid, JSP, Solid, JSP, Solid. These are web components. These are called web components. So, Solid program runs under web container. Web container is a part of web server. Note. Solid, JSP, Solid, like this. These all comes under web components. These all comes under web container. See, web server is one software. That software contains web container. This container contains web components. Nothing but Solid programs, JSP programs. Solid program, JSP program, if you want to run, web container software required. The container is available in web server. Okay. Now, previous all programs we executed under operating system, but these programs are executed under web server, web container. Web container available in web server, and application server also web container is there. Is it over writing diagram? Say from here onwards, programming style is going to be changed, complete different. Here, one program if you write, that program if you deploy in real-time server, that program any number of people at a time from any corner in the world can access. That type of application you are going to build with Solids. So Java especially made for internet applications. Internet application, first topic, this one only. But directly internet application you cannot build. This is first topic, but directly you cannot learn this one. If you want to learn this one, core Java, JDBC required. That is the reason these many classes you learn. With that knowledge, now you can learn this one. Okay, but directly Solid not possible to learn. But Java what purpose introduced? Internet application. But internet application, which topic? Solids. Okay. So Java purpose is this one. Now, here Solid program runs under web container. Web container is a part of web server. That's what one server software we have to install. Now, web servers. There are many servers. Note list of web servers. Tomcat web server. iPlanet web server. Pramati web server. It is India server. Seeing the name only you can identify. So Tomcat web server, iPlanet web server, Pramati web server, personal web server, Java web server, Resin web server, Jetty web server. Like this, many servers are there. Dash, etc. List of web servers. Tomcat, iPlanet, Pramati, Personal, Java, Resin, Jetty, etc. List of web servers. List of web servers. Tomcat, iPlanet, Pramati, Personal, Java, Resin, Jetty. Now, in these all servers, maximum companies they are using Tomcat. So it is popular, powerful, everything. Tomcat. Tomcat server is. You are going to see Tomcat server only. See, there are two types of servers: web servers, application servers. Now these are web servers. Next, application servers. Second one, application servers. See, first 1 week classes most important. Every word you should understand. First 1 week. Okay. First one program, complete explanation. It will take 2-3 days. Okay. Once if you understand, second program in 5 minutes we can complete. Same style. Every day same style will be there. See, you have seen JDBC program. Every day connection establishment is same, no? Remaining code little bit different. Like that only here also. Next. An application server is a server which contains web components, web container. An application server is server which contains web container and EJB container. An application server is a server which contains web container and EJB container. An application server is a server which contains web container and EJB container. EJB stands for Enterprise Java Beans. 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 Say, here web container contains web components and EJB container contains business components. Here web container contains web components and EJB container contains business components. An application server is a server which contains web container and EJB container. So in this server, two containers will be there. One is web container, one more EJB container. Web container contains web components, EJB container contains business components. Business components are enterprise applications. Web components are web applications. Enterprise application, web application difference is enterprise application, one particular enterprise people only can access. In normal web application, anybody can access. See, for example, yahoo.com, gmail.com, facebook.com, these all, google.com, these all web applications. But ICICI Bank website also is there. HDFC Bank website, e-seva application, railway reservation, air ticket booking, these all enterprise application. These all, say, if you want to access Facebook, no restriction. Anybody can open. You can enter first name, last name, address, mobile number, mail ID, like this you can enter. Next time onwards, username, password, you can access. That is normal web application. But can you register with ICICI Bank website? No. First you have to open bank account. Okay. They will give username, password. With that, you have to log in. Then you can change your username, password, whatever you want, you can change. But you cannot register directly with ICICI Bank website. So those are enterprise applications. Enterprise application, more security required, more security tips, more security operations will be provided. Say in a Facebook, if you give wrong information, also accepting, no? Your details, if you give wrong, also it is accepting. No verification, nothing. Not much like that. But bank website, they will verify everything, no? Your address, mobile number, mail ID, everything is verified. After that only you can log in. So that is full-fledged secured application. Okay. Like enterprise applications, if you want to build, EJB is required. Enterprise Java beans. This type of applications not comes under advanced Java. After advanced Java. Okay. It comes under Spring Enterprise, Spring Enterprise, Spring Boot Enterprise. In Spring Framework, Spring Enterprise Boot Framework, you will learn. Not in advanced Java class. Okay. Here, application server is a server which contains two containers. See, suppose it is application server. In this server, web component, web container will be there, EJB container will be there. Web container, EJB container. Here, web components. Here, web components. Here, business components. Like this. Note. Solid, JSP, 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 solid. Here, EJB. Here, different type of EJBs will be there. 5 types of EJBs will be there. That is, you will study later. These are called web components. These are called web components. These are called business components. Web components, business components. Application server is a server which contains two containers, web container, EJB container. Application server is a server which contains web container and EJB container. Is it over? Say application server. Application server is nothing but it is one type of server. Two containers will be there: web container, EJB container. Solid JSP, these all called web components. EJBs are called business components. Here, this type of application, full-fledged money-related applications will be there. That's what we'll call it as business components. It is full-fledged business-oriented applications. Money transactions applications will be there. That type. So bank application, e-seva application, railway reservation, air ticket booking, movie ticket booking, these all comes under enterprise. It is full-fledged business applications. Business components will be there. Okay. Say you are learning Servlets. Servlet, if you want to run, web container required. Web container available in web server also, application server also. Now you can use web server or application server. Any server you can use. Suppose if you want to develop business application, enterprise application, compulsory you have to use application server. Web server not possible. So while developing enterprise application, compulsory this server only required. But writing Servlet program purpose, application server also you can use, web server also you can use. Anyone. Okay. Is it over? Writing is over? No. Note on list of application servers. List of application servers. WebLogic application server. WebSphere application server. Like JBoss application server, now recently renamed as Wildfly. WebLogic application server, WebSphere application server, JBoss application server, Wildfly. Sun1 application server, Glassfish application server. Like this, many are there. Just popular names I given. Many are there. WebLogic application server, WebSphere application server, JBoss application server, Sun1 application server, Glassfish application server, like this. Many are there. Hundreds of servers are there. Now, any server I can choose. It works. Any server we can select. See, WebLogic, WebSphere, JBoss, Sun1, Glassfish, like this, hundreds of servers are there in the software industry. Many are there. But even web servers, application server, all if you combine also, this server is maximum companies they are using. WebLogic's application server. Worldwide, 56% of the industries, 56 to 57% of the industries, they are using only this server. Remaining 44, 43%, remaining all servers 43%, but only this server 56, 57% of the industries they are using. That much popular. WebLogic application server. So, total, including web servers, application servers, if you compare, maximum companies, so almost 56, 57% of the companies they are using only WebLogic. Remaining all servers percentage 43, 44. Only this server 56, 57. That much popular. Okay. This server developed by BES Systems, but that server now purchased by Oracle Corporation. See, already you know, Java developed by Sun Microsystems. That is purchased by Oracle Corporation. So And Oracle Corporation developed Oracle server also, Oracle database. See, world number one programming language for developing internet application, Java. That is with Oracle. World number one database, Oracle. That is their product only. And world number one server, WebLogic. That is also with Oracle only now. So, number one products, 3 products are there with Oracle Corporation. Number one server, number one programming language, number one database. These 3 with Oracle Corporation only now. Okay. And that too, software companies, maximum companies, internet application, they'll prefer Java. Maximum companies. Internet application is there. 90% of the companies, they'll prefer Java. Because as compared to all other technologies, Java is more secure. As well as platform independent. That's the reason they'll select Java. And database also Oracle. Oracle is more secure. And this server also more secure. That's what they'll prefer. Now, the 3 products with Oracle only. Now, here you studied Sowlets. Sowlets, what purpose? Sowlets, what purpose? To develop web applications. But web application runs under web container. Web container available in web server also, application server also. Now write this point. Sowlet program runs under web container. Sowlet program runs under web container. Web container is a part of web server and application server. Sowlet program runs under web container. Web container is a part of web server and application server. Sowlet program runs under web container. Web container is a part of web server and application server. Now you can select either web server or application server, any server, because in both the servers web container is there. In that container Sowlet runs. So we have to install one server. Now here, these all servers, any server you can select. These all servers, any server you can select. Writing Sowlet program is same. Suppose if you learn under this server, after joining the company, if they give this server, nothing will happen, no difference. Writing Sowlet program is same. Only deployment process will be different. Deployment process, just within a 10-15 minutes you can learn any server. Okay, because you are not learning server administration. Server administration is one more course, that is different. Okay, Tomcat server administration, WebLogic server administration, that is one more course. That course if you want to learn, no need to learn Java. Okay, Java people, that is they won't learn. Those people, they won't learn Java, like that. Either server administration you have to learn or Sowlet programming you have to learn. So server administration is not required to you. Okay, just we are going to deploy in server. How to deploy, if you learn, it's enough. But server you are not going to maintain. One more person will be there. That is server administration course. Okay, like server administration, it is different. It's a one more course. That is also 2-3 months course. Okay, that route is different. First you have to learn hardware. Next you have to learn network programming, networking, hardware, networking. After that, Windows administration. Next, WebLogic administration. That route is different. Okay. So what we are going to do, without server, we cannot run the program. That is the reason we are going to use server. That's it. But that server administration, no need to learn. No. Now, Sowlet program runs under web container. Web container is available in web server and application server. Now, any one server required. Okay, any one server required. Before going to that server concept, Sowlet definition I given. Sowlets. What is Sowlets? Servlets is a specification for developing web applications with Java programming language. Say you are going to develop web application. Companies developed container. So using servlet specification, already specification you studied. What is specification? While teaching JDB site or no? What is specification? Set of rules and guidelines. Okay, that is already you studied. Specification nothing but rules and guidelines. Seeing that rules and guidelines, companies developed container. You are going to develop application. That application runs under container. Seeing JDBC specification, companies developed driver. Seeing JDBC specification, you developed web database application. The database application, if you want to run, driver compulsory. Here, servlet program, if you want to run, web container compulsory. Seeing the servlet specification, web container developed. So, here, servlets, nothing but some rules and guidelines will be there. Rules and guidelines will be there. Now, suppose this is servlet specification. Servlets specification. Here, rules and guidelines are there. So many rules and guidelines will be there. Seeing these rules and guidelines, companies what they developed is web container developed. Web container developed. Seeing these rules and guidelines, what you are going to do is web application you are going to develop. Web application. This web application, it runs under web container. Suppose without seeing these rules and guidelines, if you develop web application, will it run under web container? No. Here only two options. Either follow whatever Sun Microsystem said, rules and guidelines, or you develop container. Can you develop container? No. Then follow rules and guidelines. That's it. Okay. You must follow these rules and guidelines. Then only this web application will run under web container. If you don't follow rules and guidelines, web container cannot understand. Cannot understand means not executed. That will be happen. Okay. Next, write it. Servlets specification. Servlets specification used by servlets specification used by vendors to develop web container. Servlets specification used by vendors to develop web container. Servlets specification used by Java programmers to develop web applications. Servlets specification used by web vendors to develop web container. Servlets specification used by Java programmers to develop web applications. So, seeing the rules and guidelines, we are going to build web applications. Those web applications we will run under web container. Okay. Now, for developing web application, first web application, welcome program also, even for developing complicated application, project also, same rules and guidelines. That's what first program most important I'm saying. Okay. First program, if you understand, second program onwards, very simple. Okay. First welcome program onwards up to project, same rules and guidelines will be there. That is the reason first program most important. Word by word, line by line, you should understand in the program. That program purpose only, this knowledge is also required. Okay. Now, in Java, applet one concept is there. That is outdated. We stop to teach. That applets, servlets. two concepts are there. Applet also web application, servlet also web application. Before going to that one, first types of web application, if you learn, you'll understand. There are two types of web applications. There are two types of web applications. First one, static web applications. Second one, dynamic web applications. First one, static web applications. Second one, dynamic web applications. There are two types of web applications. Static web applications, dynamic web applications. There are two types of web applications. First one, static web applications. Second one, dynamic web application. Now, I'll explain about these two. First, I'll give notes about these two. Note on static web applications. A web application that is already prepared and placed in server is known as static web application. A web application that is already prepared and placed in server is known as static web application. A web application that is already prepared and placed in server is known as static web application. Next point, static web application resides in server and runs in browser. Static web application resides in server and runs in browser. Static web application resides in server and runs in browser. Static web application resides in server and runs in browser. Next point, I'll explain, just write it. Static web applications are common to all users. Static web applications are common to all users. Next point, the server sends a program to a browser whenever the server sends a program to a browser whenever request comes to a static web application. The server sends a program to a browser whenever request comes to a static web application. Static web applications are common to all users. The server sends a program to a browser whenever request comes to static web application. Next point, static web applications can be developed by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, VB script, applets, dash, etc. Many are there. Static web applications can be developed by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, VB script, applets, dash, etc. Static web applications can be developed by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, VB-script, applets, dash dash, etc. HTML full form, hypertext markup language. HTML stands for hypertext markup language. CSS, cascading style sheets. Cascading style sheets. VB script, Visual Basic Script. Here, applets are Java programs. Here, applets are Java programs. Remaining all not Java. This is about static web application nodes. See, there are two types of web applications. There are two types of web application. This theory also important. It is most important. It is programming related theory only. Say, a web application that is already prepared and placed in server is known as static web application. It's already prepared and placed in server. That is called static. Static resides in server and runs in browser. So program you have to copy in server only, but it is going to run in browser, not runs in server. Static web application common to all users. Static applications are common to all users. All users same will be there. The server sends a program to a browser whenever request comes to static web application. Whenever request comes to static web application, program transferred to browser. That is with a diagram live, I'll show you. Okay. With a diagram, I'll show you. Live pages also I'll show you. Static web applications can be developed by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, VB-script, applets. Not only these, all so many are there. Ajax, jQuery, JSON, Bootstrap, Angular, AngularJS, and React.js. So many technologies are there. Okay. In all, applets is Java. Applet Java, but it is outdated. Reason, if you want to create one form in applets, if you want to create one form, text box, checkbox, these all very complicated. But in HTML, very simple. Input type equal to text, one text box created. But in applet, first you have to create one class. That class you have to inherit applet class. After that, you have to override lifecycle methods. After that, text field box object you have to create. You have to call the method. You have to set the size. You have to set color. So many things you have to write. Complicated. And HTML, very simple. That is the reason it is outdated. Okay. But like a HTML, applet also possible. With Java also possible. But as compared to HTML, applet is very complicated. Very lengthy, complicated. It is very easy. That is the reason HTML will prefer. That's what it is outdated. Okay. This is about static web application. I'll give dynamic also. After that, diagram I'll show you. After that, live I'll show you in the websites. Next, write it. Dynamic web applications. Dynamic web applications. A web application, dynamic web application, a web application that is prepared dynamically A web application that is prepared dynamically whenever request comes to a server. A web application that is prepared dynamically whenever request comes to a server. A web application that is prepared dynamically whenever request comes to a server. See, whenever here you observe first point, a web application that is already prepared and placed in server is known as static web application. A web application that is prepared dynamically whenever request comes to a server is known as dynamic web application. Already prepared and placed in server, static. Whenever request comes, then prepared, dynamic. Already prepared and placed means static. Whenever request come, then prepared means dynamic. Second point here, what you have seen, static web application resides in server and runs in browser, but it is different. Resides in server only, runs in server only. Next, write it. Dynamic web application resides in server and runs in server only. Dynamic web application resides in server and runs in server only. Dynamic web application resides in server and runs in server only. Dynamic web application resides in server and runs in server only. Here third point you have seen. Static web applications are common to all users, but it is not common, specific. Dynamic web applications are specific to user. Dynamic applications are specific to users. Static web applications are common to all users. Dynamic web applications are specific to users. Next, here, whenever, see, the server sends a program to a browser. Now, here, whenever request comes, it is executed here only, output only transferred. The server executes a program and sends the output to a browser. The server executes a program and sends the output to a browser whenever request comes to a dynamic web application. The server executes a program and sends the output to a browser whenever request comes to a dynamic web application. The server executes a program and sends the output to a browser whenever request comes to a dynamic web application. Here, whenever request comes, executed, output only transferred to browser. In this case, whenever request comes, program executed in server only, output only transferred to browser. But whenever request comes to static web application, program transferred to browser. Browser receives, browser executes. Because that will run in browser. This will run in server. Next. Dynamic web applications can be developed by using Solid's, JSP, Struts, JSF, Spring MVC, ASP, ASP.NET, Cold Fusion, dash dash, etc. Dynamic web applications can be developed by using Solid's, JSP, Struts, JSF, Spring MVC, ASP, ASP.NET, Cold Fusion, dash dash, etc. So not only this, many are there. Many are there. Okay. Solids, JSP, Struts, JSF, even Wicket, and so many other frameworks, Spring Boot MVC. There are so many other frameworks also, many are there. PHP, so many are there. So many technologies in the dynamic also. Now, JSP. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. JSF stands for JSP stands for Java Server Pages. JSF stands for Java Server Faces. MVC stands for Model View Controller. ASP stands for Active Server Pages. Here, Solids, JSP, Struts, JSF, and Spring MVC are Java programs. So Solids comes under dynamic web applications. Solids comes under dynamic web applications. See, about static, about dynamic, I given notes. I'll explain with the diagrams and with the live pages also I'll show you. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. JSF stands for Java Server Faces. MVC stands for Model View Controller. ASP stands for Active Server Pages. Solids, JSP, Struts, JSF, Spring MVC are Java programs. These are all Java. Okay. Now, about static, about dynamic. There are two types of web application. About static, about dynamic, notes are given. Is it completed? Now I'll explain whatever I given. I'll explain. These all about this one. Little bit I explained while teaching Advanced Java introduction, like a second day, second class I explained. First Advanced Java, first class I given content, how to learn Advanced Java explained. Second day, one diagram I explained. That is only. One minute, the diagram is not there, I think. This is explained. Second class I explained. Now, example you observe. This program, this diagram only observe. This is leave it. Now here you observe. This page, it is just online results application. Online results application. Say here, this page, is it common to all users or specific to user? This page is common to all users. For all users, same page appears. Okay. This page is specific to user. Here, data only different. Every hall ticket number data will be different, no? Data will be different. But again, font style or font color, margins, left margin, bottom margin, top margin, all everything designing is same except data. Okay, except data, remaining code is same. Only data will be different. See, this is common to all users. This is specific to user. This page is called static. This page is called dynamic. Now, what is static web application? What I given notes? You see the notes? What is static web application? A web application that is already prepared and placed in server is known as static web application. Say, this page already prepared and placed in server. It is called static web application. What is dynamic web application? A web application that is prepared dynamically whenever request comes to a server is known as dynamic web application. Say, after typing hall ticket number, whenever you click on submit button, request comes. Then what it will do? It will communicate with database. Now, it will whenever hall ticket number comes, then it will communicate with database. Given hall ticket number is there or not, it will check. Suppose it is there. This total data loaded into this page. So the page is prepared whenever hall ticket number comes. But this page already prepared. This page already prepared. This page is prepared whenever hall ticket number comes. Whenever hall ticket number comes, it will communicate with database. It will bring the data. So this page is prepared whenever hall ticket number comes. That's what it is called dynamic. Okay, this is static, this is dynamic. Where static resides? Where static application resides? I given notes. Static web application resides in server and runs in browser. Dynamic web application resides in server and runs in server only. This application resides in server but runs in browser. Here it will run. This application resides in server and runs in server only. Now this will run here only. Now give me answer. Notes already given. Whenever request comes to static web application, what server will do? You see the notes? Whenever request comes to static web application, whenever request comes to static web application, what server will do? Sends a program to a browser. Sends a program to a browser. See, whenever request comes to this page, this total program transferred to browser. When browser receives, executes, then output displayed. Okay. Whenever request comes to dynamic web application, what I given? See, whenever request comes to dynamic application, what I given? Executes a program and sends a output to a browser. Whenever request comes to this one, it is executed here only. Only output transferred to browser. That type. Now, can we develop this program with only HTML? Yes or no? Yes. Can we develop this with HTML? No. Because communicating with database, HTML will communicate? No. HTML not possible. This page communicating with database to check the date, hall ticket number exists or not. If exists, data loaded and receiving hall ticket number, sending result. This is totally Java code, not HTML. But here also you can add HTML. Designing purpose, you can use HTML also. But HTML, Java mixed here. Here HTML, Java will mix. Even SQL query also will write. In this program, 3 languages will write. HTML, Java, SQL. Java runs here. SQL runs in database. HTML runs in browser. One program only, 3 language code will write. HTML, Java, SQL. Solid, nothing but Java. JDBC, nothing but Java. It is executed in server. When this program is executed, first of all, it will communicate with database. That communication purpose, SQL. SQL queries transferred to database. It is executed here. Output designed here. Designed output transferred to browser. Then browser receives that HTML executed. So in this program, HTML, SQL, Java, 3 languages we are going to write. Okay. Now, when request comes to this program as it is transferred to browser. When browser receives, executes, then output displayed. Whenever request comes to this program executed here only, output only transferred to browser. This one you can develop with only HTML also. This one not possible, compulsory Java required. Okay. Now write this diagram. Write this diagram. This is don't write. Is it over? I'll ask some questions. Give me answer. First, is it completed? No. The page which is already prepared and placed in server is called static web application. The page which is prepared dynamically whenever request comes, that is called dynamic web application. Static web application, where it resides? Server. Where it runs? Browser. Dynamic web application, where it resides? Server. Where it runs? Server only. Static web application common to all users or specific to user? Common to all users. Dynamic applications specific to user. This is common to all user or specific to user? Common to all user. This one specific to user. See, this page already prepared. This page is prepared whenever hall ticket number comes. That's what dynamic. Okay. It resides in server. It runs in browser. It resides in server, runs in server only. Okay. And now, whenever request comes to this page, whenever request comes to static web application, what server will do? Sends a program to a browser. Whenever request comes to dynamic web application, what will happen? Executes a program and sends a output to a browser. Okay. Program executed here only, output only transferred to browser. This page, static web page, can we develop with only HTML? Yes. This one can we develop with only HTML? No. Compulsory Java required. Okay. This is you are going to learn. This is already you learned in HTML classes. Okay. Even those who don't know HTML, no need to worry. You can understand. I'll teach. See, this HTML is not a programming language. HTML is a presentation language, markup language. Just we are going to mark the tags, mark the data with tags and attributes. So it is presentation language. No logic, no errors, no exception, nothing. Okay. If browser understands, output comes. Browser doesn't understand, no output. Like that. Error also will not come, exception also will not come. No error, no exception, no logic, no condition, no loops, nothing. Only tags, attributes. Within a one day also you can learn HTML. Okay. Only tags and attributes will be there. That's it. See, this page. Now, if I show in real time any page, can you give answer or not? No. I'll ask some question. I'll check it. Whether you'll give answer or not, I'll check it. Okay. See, it is homepage.html. There is some hyperlinks, mail hyperlink, chart hyperlink, games hyperlink, like this. Some hyperlinks are there. When you click mail, one more page comes. Here, login page, username, password, like this. Username, password will be there. You will click submit button. Submit button. When you click submit, mailbox displayed. Here mails are displayed. Now, this page common to all user or specific to user? This page common to all users. This page specific to user. It is common to all user. It is common to all user. It is specific to user. Okay. Now, this page, where it resides? Server. Where it runs? Browser. This page, where it resides? Server. Where it runs? Browser. This page, where it resides? Server. Where it runs? Server. Okay. Whenever request comes to this page, what server will do? Sends a program to a browser. Whenever request comes to this one, sends a program to a browser. Whenever request comes to this one, executes a program and sends the output to a browser. Can we develop this is only HTML? This one? This one? No, Java required. That is solids. Okay. Now you observe in a Google Chrome. Suppose google.co.in like this, Google homepage we got it. Is it static or dynamic? Is it common to all user or specific to user? Common to all users. Whenever request comes to this program, what server will do? Send the program to a browser. Now this program running in server or browser? Browser. Resides in. Now where is google.com website? Is it in my system? No, it is in server system. Server may be in US. It is sub-server, India server. Co.in is India server. Google.com is US server. Now, this application placed in server, but it is running in browser. In my system running. Now, this code we can see because program received. See, right click, view page source. It is a code. See, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, client-side technologies. This much code is there. But for you, it appears plain. Here for you, it appears like a plain. But backside, that much code is there. Because your options are there, no? This code also will be there. This code also will be there. About if you click this one, that code also will be there. That is totally included in this page only. Okay. So these all, that much code is there. If you right click, if you see view page source, HTML code, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, this complete code you can see like this. Okay. Now, whenever you execute, whenever you send the request to dynamic web application, then also output comes after typing username, password, output comes. That one also right click view page source you see. Again, HTML code only you can see. Solid code, JSP code you cannot see. Solid code, JSP code doesn't appears because solid code not received. Solid code runs in server. Output only comes. Output HTML format comes, that HTML you can see. Other code we cannot see. Okay. Now, how many types of web applications are there? 2 types. What are those? Static and dynamic. Solids comes under dynamic. Solid is dynamic web application you can build. Okay. Now, solids dynamic web application part. Now, before solids are introduced in 1996, say these all points you remember. Further, after writing program also, after writing that type of program also, I'll show you. After executing, where it is executed, I'll show you. Server, browser, all. Okay. Now, here, Java made for internet applications. Okay. Internet applications. 1990, internet came. 1990, internet came. 1995, Java came. 1996, solids came. Solids. Okay. Say 1990, internet introduced. 1995, Java came. After 1 year, solids came. Solids is a first specification for developing internet applications. But 90 to 96, 6 years. 6 years, what they did is with the CGI specification developed. CGI. That CGI outdated. When solids came and exist in the market, CGI outdated. Why it is outdated? They may ask in interview. That is the reason. That is little bit you have to learn. Note down. CGI versus solids. CGI versus solids. One side CGI, common gateway interface. One more side solids. common gateway interface. CGI versus Solets. Common gateway interface, Solets. CGI is a specification for developing web applications with Java, CGI specification for developing web applications with C, C++, Perl, etc. CGI is a specification for developing web applications with C, C++, Perl, etc. So CGI specification for developing web applications with different programming languages. C also, C++ also, Perl also, many languages. But Solets only Java. Solets is a specification for developing web applications with Java programming language only. CGI is a specification for developing web applications with C, C++, Perl, etc. Solets is a specification for developing web applications with Java programming language only. CGI, multiple language supported, that specification, but Solets only Java. If we compare this one, CGI better appears. Okay. But not only one difference, other difference also you have to see. CGI based web server creates a new process for every request. Solets based web server Solets based web server Solid based web server creates a new process for very first request only. And remaining requests are handled by child process. Nothing but threads. Multi-threading you studied in Core Java. That is. CGI based web server creates a new process for every request. Solets based web server creates a new process for very first request only, and remaining requests are handled by child process threads. So with this reason only CGI outdated. Say in CGI server, one CGI program placed, 1,000 requests came. Then how many process created? 1,000 created. Solet based server, one Solet placed, 1,000 requests came. How many process created? One only created. From that only child process is created. So from main process, child process created. From main process, child process created. and every new request, one child process created, but main process one only. But exact one will not be there. And what will happen according to software, hardware configuration? Suppose one main process can create 10,000 child threads, 10,000 only. Next 1,001 comes, no, one more main process created. Load balancing purpose created. Otherwise, main process becomes weak. Then total application is vanished. That will be happen. So whenever first request comes, one process created. Second request, child process. Third request, child process. Fourth request, child process. Until that completion of capacity, child process created. If capacity limit stopped, with that limit only stopped. If exceeded, next what will happen? Next main process created. That means every 1,000 one main process may be created, or every 10,000 may be one process created. That is depends upon software hardware configuration. Based on that, okay. So every 1,000 process, every 1,000 requests, one process may be created. Every 10,000 may be one created. Exact one we cannot give. That is based on hardware software configuration. Okay, like that child process will handle. With this reason only, CJ outdated. 1996 internet usage was very less. For one server, maximum 10,000 requests also not came. How many people used internet in 1996? Very few. Okay. Worldwide, very few countries internet was there. Very few people they used internet at the time. But now, crores of requests coming. Internet usage day by day increasing. No? Say, Google server per minute, 2.5 crores of requests coming. Per minute only. Per day, how many millions of crores will be there? Okay. Per minute only 2.5 crores requests coming to Google worldwide. See, 2.5 crores of requests means how many process created CJ? 2.5 crores created. No? Then it is not possible to create also. Server may be crashed. Okay. But here, less number of requests process created. Every 10,000 one or every 1 lakh one like that created. Okay. Internet usage day by day increasing. Still it is CJ, it is not possible to handle. Long back in the 1996 only outdated. Because of this reason only. See, now everyone using internet. See, example, in a family, 5 members are there. 5 mobiles will be there. No? 5 mobiles. In a mobile also you are using internet. No? Request is passing like that. In a family, 5 members means 5 mobiles will be there. More than 5 mobiles also will be there. Few people are maintaining 2 mobiles, 3 mobiles also. Like that. Okay. So every person using internet nowadays. That's what. Still, if it is CJ, it is not possible to handle those many requests. Solid. First request only new process. Remaining request child process. Like that it can handle. Child process nothing but threads. Multi-threading core Java. Like that created. Here no need to write multi-threading single line also. No need to worry. Those who didn't complete multi-threading also no need to worry. Inbuilt multi-threading will be there in advanced Java. Multi-threading one line also no need to write. Inbuilt multi-threading. Predefined implicitly will be there. We'll see continuation tomorrow. Tomorrow onwards, first program. Tomorrow first program you are going to see. But the first program minimum 3 days required. 3 days. Okay. Be regular. First 1 week most important. We'll see continuation tomorrow. Online student, just wait 2 minutes. Online students, 1 minute. I'll clarify your doubts.